Jesus kept trying to get away. He had heard that John the Baptist had been killed. He withdrew from his hometown in a boat to a deserted place by himself in order to pray. But when the crowds heard the news, they followed him on foot from the towns. Jesus kept trying to get away. He came ashore, took pity on the people, and healed their sick. This was a spontaneous gathering, and the people were hungry. He took 5 loaves and 2 fish and turned them into a feast with leftovers. Jesus made the disciples get into the boat and go ahead the 6 or so miles to the other side of the Sea of Galilee, while he dismissed the crowds. Jesus kept trying to get away. He retreated to a mountain to pray. But by evening, the disciples were adrift on the stormy sea, unable to go forward or to return to their starting point. They were in grave peril. The Sea of Galilee is the lowest freshwater lake on earth, and second only to the saltwater Dead Sea. At its lowest point, the Sea of Galilee is 705 feet below sea level and sits in the Jordan Rift Valley. It is thus subject to earthquakes, volcanic activity, and sudden upswellings of wind, which circle the water into ferocious waves and hurl any who are so unfortunate to be upon them into uncontrollable danger. In 1986, the water level of the Sea of Galilee dropped dramatically due to 4 years of severe drought. On a routine stroll along the receded shoreline, fishermen brothers Moshe and Yuval Lufan stumbled across the remains of a wooden boat buried in the shore. Since then, the boat has been excavated, conserved, investigated, and researched. The boat has been radiocarbon dated to between 40 BCE and 200 CE. It is constructed primarily of cedar planks, joined by pegged mortise and tenon joints and nails. The boat is shallow drafted with a flat bottom, allowing it to get very close to shore while fishing. It was rowable with 4 staggered rowers, and also had a mast, allowing the fishermen to sail the boat. Perhaps it was upon such a craft as this that the disciples embarked. A steady enough platform for calm water fishing, but in rough weather as unpredictable as a log upon the water. It would be a metaphor for the platform upon which we all sit. If we are fortunate, it is steady enough for a calm and predictable life, but life is not calm. Life is not predictable. Jesus climbed down from the mountain. It was early in the morning. Some scholars think it may have been as early as 3 a.m. He saw the disciples in trouble and walked toward them on the sea. He had previously shown that he had the power to calm the sea. However, this time he walked upon it through the storm. Picture the scene. The disciples, soaked to the skin, perhaps having lost their oars and sail, and possibly the contents of their stomachs, are wholly terrified in the semi-darkness. Have you perhaps had such a moment? An out of control, lost all sensibility, and perhaps the contents of your stomach's moment? They see a figure walking towards them. The waves and the wind are undiminished. Perhaps they think that I have died and crossed over to the other side. Jesus immediately says, "Take heart. It is I. Do not be afraid." In this story, we might say that Jesus represented his companion disciples in the boat. And he also represents his companion disciples of today. It's all about trust and faith. Trust that Jesus holds out unequivocal truth, boundless compassion, and an unconditional helping hand. Faith that Jesus is always there, whether or not we sense his presence, and that he hears us and our pleas. Peter answers Jesus, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." If. Do we not echo Peter in our daily lives? Do we sometimes pray conditionally? Do we set rewards before the work? Jesus commanded Peter to step out of the boat and walk to him. But when Peter noticed the strong wind, he became frightened and began to sink. In despair, he cried out, "Lord, save me." Jesus immediately reached out his hand and caught him, saying to him, "You of little faith, why did you doubt?" Jesus kept trying to get away. This was another of Father Brian's mother's bolts from the blue moment for the disciples. The time is drawing near when Jesus will get away, in a physical sense, forever. The disciples have been walking along dusty roads with Jesus. They've been eating with him, listening to him teach, and watching him heal. Yet, once again, these slightly dunderheaded, holy human men now see Jesus as he was before God sent him to inhabit the skin of a man, and as he would be after relinquishing that skin to return to the right hand of God. They see him filled with power and glory, not as a man, but as an image of the one God. There are at least 6 important takeaways in this gospel. I love lists. 1, Jesus takes time to pray. Even when life throws us curveballs, it is important to remember that prayer is necessary for maintaining balance. 2, Jesus sent the disciples out again. He sent them out into a life filled with questions and uncertainty. He sends us out as well, and we are no more equipped to deal with questions and uncertainty than they were. 3, when we are launched onto Christ's sea, Jesus does not abandon us. He comes to us when we need him most. 4, the power of God through Jesus can calm our fears and overcome the evil that causes them. 5, Jesus comes to us in unexpected ways. Fear of the unknown and unexpected can blind us to God's gifts and prevent us from sharing them. 6, the disciples respond to Jesus' saving grace by worshiping, by giving thanks, by acknowledging that he is the Son of God. Must we wait for a life-threatening moment to do the same? We are called to take a leap of faith. Taking a leap of faith can be scary. It encourages us to trust in our God while at the same time, pushing us out of our comfort zones. Genuine faith in the leap can help us build resilience in difficult times. Taking the leap makes us more likely to persevere when life does not go as planned. So, hold on to your courage, take a deep breath, and jump. Amen.